Crime is tearing apart our communities. My name is Tony Ehrenreich. I'm the Secretary of CUSATU, and I'd like to talk to you today about what it is we must do. How do we respond to these challenges? What do we do as communities, as parents, as the police to be more decisive in both assisting our communities but also providing the future for our children? Everywhere we look, we see that our children are under attack. Gangs and their drug sales are wreaking havoc on our communities. We know that in every school, on every street corner, these gangsters are out there and they're selling their poison to our children. We know what happens when children take in those drugs. The first time they get involved in drugs, they think it is quiet and it's fancy and it links to their lives. But immediately they become addicted. And when they're addicted, nothing is safe in the house. They'll steal everything to go out and buy drugs. They'll threaten their parents, assault their mothers to get their hands onto money so that they can buy the drugs. And you know in your homes the difficulty that you're having with children who are afflicted by drugs. They no longer want to go to school, they're out all days of the day and night, and they're not responding to the challenges that we must exist. So what it is we need to look at doing is to make sure we respond to that. But why do we say drugs and our response to it as a community is important? The things we desire for our children, the kind of future that we want for them, is they must finish their school, they must get into university, they must make their lives better than what our lives were. They must build on the promises of democracy and make sure that they can make contributions to our society. We want all of this for our children because we want all of this for ourselves and our communities. That's why we must take charge. We can no longer ignore the fact that drugs and gangsterism are acting with impunity in our communities. We must stand up together. And the way to stand up together is to remind ourselves that when we were in solidarity with one another, that's when we were most successful. And again, that's what we must do. We must come together, we must unite our street committees, we must bring our communities together, we must call the children to account, we must go into the schools, but we must put an end to the fact that children think that we don't care about them, and that's the easier route. And the only way to respond to that is if as parents we take the lead, is if as students we take responsible, and as gangsters and those who seek to poison our communities, they know that there's no place for them. We've got to make sure that the police, the army, the metro police, and all the other sections of society are united with a common program that addresses the scourge, but also provides hope for our children. If our children are not to believe that there's the future that we promised them, if they work hard, if they dedicate, and if they study, then they're going to lose hope in what it is that we represent. And then they're going to get lost in drugs. That's why we've got to do all of those things together. It's possible to do that. We've done that and more in our fight against apartheid. Let's come together now. Let's put our children first. Let's respond to the plight of our communities, and let's show the drug lords that there's no place for them in our communities. We're concerned, we love them, we want to do something that's different. But to do that, we have to act together, and we have to do that now.
That was fantastic.